guy with glasses, like sunglasses, you know.
Welcome everybody to another show here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. Guys, this is my third stream today, but we're gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying, as live as we can. Today we have a very, very special guest, and that is my man I am Mara. One of my favorite YouTube channels. He's a Kenyan that has recently lived in many countries. Tanzania is one of them. Bogota, Colombia has an awesome YouTube channel. And the name of his channel is I am underscore Mara. And today's topic is, do Colombian women really love black men? We're going to talk about his travels, his education, how he feels about, being black in certain places, racism. We'll talk about all those things. He's on his way to Cuba, certainly. So guys, subscribe to the brother. He's really, really popular up and coming in the travel sector. And now over here in the ghetto on my channel. Shout outs to IMR. How you doing, fam?
I'm good, bro. How's everything?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm a big fan of your channel, man. I've been watching you for some time. You just have a great personality. You have some excellent quality vlogs. You're just kicking ass on YouTube right now, man. You're a really, really talented YouTuber. So I'm just so glad that you come over here to spend time with my audience and so they can get to know you also.
Man, thank you, man. I feel like I feel humbled, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you like reaching out to me, like, hey, I'm this guy. I want to meet you. I have a YouTube channel. Let's do something, man. That was so nice, and I really appreciate, like really, really appreciate.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, no problem, and thanks again for coming on. I know you're recently in Mexico. Many of us who watch you know that you had these epic vlogs, man, with these beautiful Colombian women in Bogota.
Yeah,
interviews on the street, asking them freaky and sexual questions. Do you like to give blowjobs? I mean, like you would just, you're bold, bro. Like you do some shit that I'm like, nigga, I cannot fucking believe he walked up there.
Yeah,
and get them to actually say that. So let me start off before we get into that content, man. Just tell us a little bit about you, man, where you're from in Kenya, and kind of talk about that real quick.
Yeah. So my name is Frederick Marwa. I'm totally a Kenyan, like very, very Kenyan. Like all my parents are Kenyan. And I studied statistics. That's actuarial science, by the way. But many people don't know actuarial science, so I tell them statistics. So I'm 27 years old, and when I finished my university, I worked as a banker. So when I worked as a banker, I worked for like 1 year in the sales department. So I used to go out, meet people, try to tell them, hey, what's up? My name is this guy. I want you to open an account with us. Please put some money in their bank accounts. And I think that job exposed me like to speaking to anybody. So I could speak to like males, females, families in the streets, anywhere, because my bank required me to open at least 10 accounts a day, So 10 accounts means you have to convince people with their money, and people with money, they always feel like, very insecure. But you have to convince people to believe what you're saying. And I think it was just, for me, when I look back, I look at it like it was just preparing me for YouTube in a way. So for me, it's like a miracle. I would say my life is just like a miracle, man. Like I grew up in a very, very, very humble background. Like even the first time I saw television, I was like in high school. So growing up in Africa, I would say for me, I don't regret, but I think it makes me appreciate where I'm from. It makes me appreciate like all the steps. It makes me appreciate my new environment, and I think it has shaped my character as a person. Yeah. So that's basically who Ayamaro is. But one day I was in my house, and a friend of mine came and said, hey, there's this job opportunity in Colombia. The Colombian government is looking for like people to teach English in Colombia as volunteers. Would you like to go? A friend of mine came and told me. And the funny thing is, this guy had been told by other 5 guys, like before him, other 5 guys had been told of the same position, but they were like, no, I'm not interested. But this guy, when he told me, I was like, and he gave me the link on Facebook. So I checked the link, I applied. After 3 days, There's a place in the link which was asking me for my email. After 3 days, they contacted me and they said, "Oh, we saw your application and we wish to do interviews." I did interviews. In 2 months' time, I was in a plane going to Colombia, and that's how I just like left Kenya. I resigned my sales job in a bank, and I just started a new life. But I just went home like a week before and told my mom, you know, mom, I got a job abroad and I'm going. But the funny thing is, my mom was so supportive. She was not like afraid, and she didn't have much knowledge about Colombia, you know, like being dangerous, cartels, drugs. So she was like, "Oh, my son has got a job abroad." So all she did was wish me well and support me financially. Yeah, like a little pocket money, and I was gone. So that's basically me. Yeah.
Let me ask you this,
So,
because you
yeah,
said, I mean, actuarial science, and I know
yeah,
that that is really a math degree because it's a very
yeah.
statistics
It's
background,
super,
right? People
super
do
mad.
that for
Yeah,
gambling
yeah. I mean,
casinos,
yeah.
insurances. It's just a big money degree.
Yeah, it's very, very. It's a precious like course. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very precious. And even I saw one of your subscriber. His name was somebody actually. I was like, oh, we did the same thing with this guy.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
he
a
has.
career that makes you a lot of money in the United States. So I'm just kind of curious, like with that, because it's a hard, STEM major. You
Yeah.
graduated with that. What school did you go to, by the way?
So I went to a public university. It's called Jomo Kenyatta
Yeah,
University.
I'm
It's a
familiar.
public university. Yeah, that's where I did my degree in actuarial science.
So I mean,
But it's purely mathematics.
in
Yeah,
mathematics. Okay, so with a degree like this, I mean, I'm curious. Why did you? Because it seems like you went into the banking industry on like a sales job. So, um,
yeah.
is it where you did was there not a position available for you and what you actually studied for in Kenya?
Yeah, actually, the problem in Kenya is we don't have like job opportunities. So for us, we always study what we want to study, but we always know that we shall not work what we did. You can study law at the same time, work as a waiter and or work as maybe a flight attendant. In Kenya, is like who do you know? So the person you know connects you to a job. If you don't know anybody, then you still and even up to today, many of the guys we graduated with have never even found a job, even if it's a sales job. They have never, yeah, up to today. So I just find myself like lucky, and sometimes also sales is like very tricky because it's more give us the numbers, give us what you've brought this month, tell us what you've done, and working in a bank industry, it's more about how much money you brought us to this bank. So it was really like I had time, but at the same time, I feel like it really helped me like to build my character in terms of interacting with people in the streets, of which I do today.
I want to pause that real quick because we have a lot of, I have an African American following, and I want
Yeah,
them to realize how lucky they are as African Americans
yeah,
because sometimes we can complain. I just want to just mention this. This brother went to a university and majored in one of the, a field that will get you paid hundreds of $1,000s a year in the United States, and he graduates from a university after putting in all that work and can't even find a job. So I just want you guys to understand that, you know what I mean? Like, and despite what we've been through in America, there are other blacks in other parts of the world that have it much harder than we do. And this is a guy that went to like a very lucrative field in America that will get you a lot of money, and he can't find a job in that field. So, I want brothers to realize that, not too many brothers going from actuarial science in America and finish are doing sales jobs in banks. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So we need to be thankful for the things that we do have. I wanted to just point that out. Let me just ask you this. So you go to Colombia, you're teaching English. Before you go there, do you know Spanish already? Were you studying
no,
Spanish?
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Spanish, and even I was not an English teacher. For me, I just saw an opportunity. I was like, man, I just want to take this opportunity. Like, I don't want to waste any opportunity that is coming. So for me, I just took it, man. Because people would say, oh, you studied statistics, you studied mathematics, which does not even go with languages. How will you be a teacher? I didn't know anything, but I was, man, like I'm not leaving anything at chance. Yeah. So that is exactly what's happened. Yeah. I didn't know any Spanish at all. Zero Spanish. But I was like, man, I wanna go. Yeah.
Okay, so you were in the banking job, no Spanish. Okay, you're going to Colombia. You don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
What were your friends telling you? Like, was anybody telling you, "Man, you're crazy. Why the hell are you doing this? What's wrong with you?" What were you hearing?
Yeah, the fact is even Colombia was not like paying me a lot of money. It was paying me like $500 a month. And I was working as a full-time teacher. So my colleagues in the bank, they were like, no, for me, I can't go for just 500 abroad. And maybe I'll have to pay like flight tickets and everything. But many people saw me as a crazy guy. Yeah, but other guys were like secretly admiring me because it was an opportunity that many people would wish for. Many people, like, especially being in an African society and maybe coming from a very humble background and where everybody's struggling to get a job or anything. So people just take any opportunity that comes on their way. People feel like, man, anything that will come will be good for me. Yeah. I'm trying to
Okay,
see the comments. Yeah.
okay, and guys, he's in a hostel. So if you guys want to know where he's in a hostel in Cancun, Mexico. So that's why people are just walking by and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
let me ask you this. So you tell your mom and everything. You go. Um, where did you land when you first went to Colombia? Let's talk about that.
So where I landed.
Yes.
So the organization that was taking me was a very serious one. It was a very serious organization and it was dealing with the government. So I came from Nairobi, Kenya. It was my first flight and it was international. So for me, it was really a big day for me. Like I had never flown with a flight before in my life. It was my first flight and I was like traveling from Africa to Europe. I stayed in Amsterdam like for 3 hours or four around there. Then from there, I connected to Bogota, Colombia. In Bogota, I was received by the organization which took care of me for 2 weeks as I was doing my orientation. There's, man, like everybody here speaks Spanish, and you go anywhere and people don't understand what you're saying. You're speaking English, but nobody understands you. I realized here, man, yeah. And also Kenya was like 8 hours ahead. So like for the first 2 weeks, I was just struggling. Like people are eating lunch, and I feel like I want to sleep. And I was just like, yeah. So for the first 2 weeks, I would say it was really, really like very tricky in my side. But at the end of the day, I was so positive. It's like I believe like I had done or I had made my best decision. And even the first photo I took, man, in Colombia, I think when I my Facebook, it went viral. Like people are so inspired, like wow. Especially guys that we grew with, or maybe people who knew me, they were like, wow, how did this guy just go like this? Yeah. So I
So
first landed in,
you first
yeah,
landed. So you first landed.
sure,
So you were dealing with the
in Bogota.
Bogota. Okay. Now let me just do this real quick. Shout out to my brother Kevin Green. He says, paying my Negro taxes, showing love to my brothers. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And brothers, do me a favor, guys. Go into my brother's YouTube channel. I am Mara. I see everybody coming back. Hit the like button. I know the notifications isn't working so well now, but go into his description, my description. Let's subscribe to him. He has an awesome channel. I can guarantee you cannot just watch one video. He's dancing with chicks and stuff. He's crazy. He made us some crazy shit on this channel. Let me talk about this because I had a similar situation. I came to Poland from the USA. I didn't speak any Polish. People sometimes couldn't understand what I'm saying. How do you deal with that when you're in another country? You can't speak Spanish. Everything's in Spanish, and nobody can speak English. How do you deal with that?
So basically, I would say it's more just you being open mind and you just being ready to like to be consumed by the new culture. Just being so open and just being free. Just be ready to like many people when they travel, especially to other countries where people don't speak their language, it's like a two-way if you look at it, because sometimes girls may love you because of that, like you're a foreigner and you speak like a very different language, so that makes you unique. But at the same time, if you're not careful, it may be a downfall because you may lose opportunities that maybe you would have advanced. Maybe you speak to somebody and you just speak your own language. So some people will feel shy, especially in Colombia for me. I would say what really helped me is just being more, let me just try. Like, let me just try, let me just try. And I was always saying, I think this just that time I need like to try new things. I was so open minded. So the fact is, when you're going to a new country and you don't know anything, you don't know any language, don't stick to your language, try their language, And I realized, especially in Colombia, I was so lucky to go to a country that they really embrace people, and they really so nice and ready to help you. So when I was in Colombia, everybody wanted like to help me, like all the time. And I would try my broken Spanish, and I didn't know anything, Even I would hear words like, let's say, vamos. I'm like, what is vamos? Or Ramos? I'm like, just I would hear everything is like, wow. But I was so positive, and always I try like to try. And I never went to school. I never went to school to study Spanish. I never did any special course. I was not in my house like studying Spanish. I just went out speaking to people, learning word by word. Yes. But the fact is, when I was new, many people took advantage of that, because people like taxi men, you tell them I'm going to this place, and they will pretend they don't know what you're saying. So even they may charge you a lot of money. Like even when I landed in Colombia, from the airport to my hotel, I paid like 3 times the normal price, because I knew nothing, like nothing. Even the money they were telling me, pay this, me, I'm like, whatever you want, I'll just give. That was the biggest challenge and problem, yeah. But with time, I realized how like just to study like people, trying to know how they act or how they behave. Like let's say you go to let's say you go to a club and you see these girls. Maybe in Africa it's so different how you approach them. When you are here, you see how things are done. You'll be like, oh, so this is how it's supposed to be. So the first thing is I had to learn, especially how to deal with people on the ground before like I just like took off. Yes.
Okay, let me talk about this. And shout out to my big bro, Misanthropic One. You guys know that's one of my favorite YouTubers, man. Big bro in the motherfucking house. He has some vlogs in the Sula area in Dominican Republic. So much love to my brother. But let me talk about this, right? Because before the podcast started, me and you were talking about African women in comparisons to Colombian women. So let's kind of start off with African women. You're from Kenya. And I was sharing with you that I've been to Uganda twice. My brother Ghana Dan, he's been there. I just came back from Brazil. I prefer like the most thickest and most sexiest chicks I ever saw in my whole life were definitely in Uganda for a fact. I will put that 9 to 10 times better over Kampala over Brazil, Rio de Janeiro any day of the fucking week. But let's talk about how African women treat you when you were coming up in Kenya, and how African women were treating you as a man when you were in Tanzania. What is like the average dating Kenyan girl was like when you were going to school? And let's talk about that real quick.
So I'll say, I think Africans, especially our women, they're so easy. Like they're easygoing. I don't mean like easy in a wrong way. I just mean that they're easy. If you talk to them, they really appreciate you. If you express, especially what you feel, yeah, and they're very shy. They feel like intimidated. They're not this type of women like tell you, okay, tell me what you want. What do you want? No. When I say, for example, if you tell a girl, hey, I think I really like you, and she'll smile, and she'll really smile. But I live in Tanzania, and even my home country, like my home where I'm from, is like 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers from Tanzania. So like from my home, you can see Tanzania. So many women, like we intermingle, like even my aunts are married in Tanzania. Let's say if I want to buy some food stuff, I go to Tanzania, my mom, even the language, even my accent is like influenced from the Tanzanian part. So I totally understand like the two cultures, but I'll say Kenya is this type of country where like people try to be more westernized, especially like they have gone to school. Like I think they're so aggressive. Like chasing the dream, wanting like to be the Instagram model. So it's more of that, like Kenya. Kenya is that country that people think they are more advanced than the rest of like parts of Africa, especially like technology, or people feel like Kenya is the country that should set the trend. So because of that, our women try to think they're like special, or like if you marry a Kenyan, you like won a jackpot, something like that. But I would say, in general, getting in Kenya was easy. I think it was easy than maybe dating abroad, because dating abroad, let's say in Colombia or any other country, or here in Mexico, you know, people first see you as an African. Then from there you have to break that being an African, putting the mindset like now we want to have like a relationship, or we can do something maybe romantic, sexual, kissing, you know. So first you have abroad, you have to break the barrier, you being an African. But in Kenya, that barrier is not there. As long as the girl says yes, or I would say, for example, I don't know, maybe it depends also with your personality, you know, like as a man. For example, me in the university, I was the wingman, you know. I was that guy that people would say, man, you know, I saw a girl today, and I want you to go and look for her. Give me the contact of that girl, and I will buy you lunch. So, and all of my friends knew, if you want to talk to a girl, or if you want a number of a girl, talk to Marwa. And man, for me, it was so easy, man. Like I would just walk to a girl, smile, joke with her like 2, 3 words, and in seconds I have her number. Like, I don't know, man. So many of my guys used like to, I think, like use me, you know, like, hey, today I'm buying you lunch, but you remember the girl we saw in that class? Yeah, you have to give me her number before maybe the day ends. So it was like my assignment. Yeah. But I'll say Tanzanians, for me, I think I would choose a Tanzanian over Kenyan. I don't know, man. But for Tanzanians, they are like their women, for example, they are more into super into like you're the man, you know, like you're the man, take control, your decision is like final. And they are more into just work hard, bring the money home. Me, I'll give you anything you want. If you want to have babies with me, I'll give you. It's Tanzanians. For example, in Tanzania, it's considered rude if a woman gives you like water, let's say drinking, you ask, let's say you went to a home and asked somebody, hey, please give me a glass of water. If she's a lady, she will bring you that water, and she will like bow her head, or even go down on her knees until you drink the water and finish. It's like super crazy. But Kenyans can't do that. But for Tanzanians, that is just a cultural thing. It's super normal. And I'll always say many women get excited when they are dating like foreigners. Let's say, like me, I lived in Tanzania like for 5 months, and every girl I used to talk was like, wow, I want to go to your country. Maybe, you know, like they were so excited. Yeah. So as comparing to those two countries, I would say Tanzanians are more humble, the girls there, as compared to Kenyans. Kenyans are more like learned, and now they're like into technology, you know, like, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, let me do this.
yes.
Shout out to Carlos Jean for the Negro Minister calendar. Thank you for the 1914 super chat. And then also great theory he presents. Shout out to him. Shout out to Wake the Hell Up 7. So let me just kind of weigh in on this real quick, right? I when I was in Uganda, don't get me wrong, like the women are like submissive, like he's saying. I've definitely witnessed that. But I have dealt with the here's what I've dealt with, guys. I'll be honest. Like, oh, my mom is just sick. Can you send me some money? Somebody stole my phone. Can you send me some money? So like, I don't know about Tanzanian chicks, but I mean, I don't know. Did you deal with like women begging for money like all the time where you were in Kenya or in Tanzania? Where did you have women like always asking for money?
Okay, so there's a funny misconception here. Like, I find it funny because I'm out of Africa and now I see it from the other side of life. You know, a lot of Africans, and especially where I come from, people think like, as long as you're like from other countries apart from Africa, you are just like rich. Like, even if, for example, me, just because I got out of Africa and now I'm like abroad, everybody thinks I've made it. Like everybody thinks like this guy is just having like a lot of money and everything. So I think because of that misconception, people may not just only people, many girls will try to take advantage and lie because of those factors, and they'll say, I have this, I have this. But at some point, things would be maybe normal. Like maybe honestly, the mom is sick and maybe she needs help. I don't like deny some other situations, but I'm very sure most of other situations are influenced by the fact that you're from the US or you're from another country. As long as you're from another country, people see you like you have money. For example, right now, a lot of Kenyan girls tend to date Nigerian men because they believe like Nigerian men have money, especially those guys who travel. Let's say there's a Nigerian man in Kenya. Many girls will try to like date him very easy, like super easy. So because of that, that's why I say you being a foreigner, you really like your status is high, like when you're in Africa, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let me kind of contrast this to the Tanzanian women. And the brothers want to know this because we was talking about this, right? On average, because I just came back from Brazil, and I gave my account of like many people think like Brazil, like Rio de Janeiro, you're gonna see like hella big booties all the time. If you're a guy who's like a big butt type of woman, you like a woman with a fat butt, then I don't think Brazil is really for you on average. You know what I'm saying? Because they do have those kind of women, but it's not as common as it is like in Uganda. So let's talk about the women with the big asses. Kenya or Tanzania on average, right? If I'm in Nairobi, because actually Dar es Salaam is the biggest city in East Africa. Where am I going to see the women on average with the nicest asses? Is it going to be in Nairobi or Dar es Salaam?
Okay, so I think that should be Nairobi because Kenya men, we are crazy. Like we have. Okay, so this is really funny. In Kenya, we have like tribes. We have tribes. So like in Kenya, we are 44 tribes, and they are like the tribes along along the lake region. We have Lake Victoria, which is the biggest lake in East Africa. So the tribes along that lake, all the girls like have the biggest, like we call them assets. Yeah. The biggest assets you can ever imagine, like assets, I mean. Like they have the big booties. Like that's the region I come from. Like you don't have to look. Like every girl is like that. It's like genetical. But girls from like, let's say, central of Kenya, they are slim and more light skin. So also in Africa, especially like my own country in Kenya, it all depends the region you are. Especially like in Kenya, we have regions like Nyanza, we have regions like Western Kenya. Those areas, man, it's crazy, man. Like girls have big booties. Yeah.
Okay, and let me ask you this: Casper, he makes a good point. Women in Brazil don't act stuck up. That is absolutely true. Women in Brazil are not stuck up, from what I understand. They don't. They're not. They're very down to earth and very cool and very They're not very begging like either. But in terms of like Tanzanian women, who do you think? Oh shit! Hold on a second. DeAndre Stevenson, across the street from Acacia Mall, I saw the biggest ass of my life. Stop the show. Yes, that's where I picked up one of my chicks across the street. I can't tell you exactly where because I don't want you to go holler at her, but he's absolutely right. Kampala, Uganda got the most ass I've ever seen in my life. But let me ask you this. What is different in dating? Because you deal with a whole lot of stuff about Colombia, right?
Yeah.
What's different in dating a Colombian woman than dating a Kenyan woman? Let's do this. What's different between dating a Colombian woman and dating a woman from, let's say, Kenya?
So the big difference is you being a black guy. That is a big factor. That you being just a black guy is a big factor. In Kenya, it's not a big deal. In Kenya, you can talk to any girl. It's so normal. But in Colombia, you just being that black guy, you have first to break that barrier. You just have to break that barrier. That's the big difference. You being black is another thing, and you just being like Kenya to Kenyan is very, very different. So Kenyan to Kenyan is very, very normal, and nobody takes it even that like a big deal. But in Colombia, the fact is, man, if you're dating a Colombian girl and you're black, you have to learn a lot of things. You have to learn and learn a lot of things. Number one is you have to learn how to kiss in public. You have to learn how to touch her like anywhere in public. Like you can kiss in a bus, you can kiss maybe even next to a police store, anywhere, anywhere. And if you don't do that, that girl will leave you the next day because that's their culture. So like for me, the first time I had like a girl and I was like taking her to a bus stop, and this bus stop has like hundreds of people running, and she just touched my hand inside like we call them transmillennials, and she like kissed me in front of everybody. It was my first time, man. Like I sweat. I was like, oh man, because in Kenya you never do those things in public, but in Colombia it's totally the opposite. Like people really don't care what you do, as long as you just okay. Nobody really cares, even if there are children right there. Nobody really cares. So I would say dating in Colombia is a whole different story. It's totally different in terms of like PDA, like public display of affection, how you treat women. And the Colombian women are so much into like love, so much into families. So Kenyans, I feel like just dating in Kenya is more easy. Like girls even don't care like, oh, like we fucked or we had sex a few days ago, so you should talk to me. But in Colombia, you have to talk to that girl after that. You have to ask her, hey, did you arrive home? How did you sleep well? Like you have to be worried about her all the time. And if you don't do that, that girl will be like, I doubt if you love me. And that's because of their culture. Like every boy is doing the same. Old men, like young guys, everybody's doing the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, because obviously you've been in Bogota. I've heard you do vlogs about living in Medellin, Colombia, and there's some people that want to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I lived in Medellin for 1 year. I lived in Medellin for 1 year.
Okay, let me ask you this, because like we're both, in the terms of origin, we're both African. I guess you can say that as far as the ancestral lines, right? You're direct descendant of Africa. My ancestors are direct descendant of, Africa. But, when we come to Colombia, as I say, African Americans, and I know that you have a lot of African Americans that you've met in Colombia. Yeah. There was a guy that actually stole some money from you. I want to talk to you about that. Yeah. Which was a very fucked up thing. I really hated that. But when a Black American comes to Colombia, he's okay. Black guys that come from America to Colombia, do you think they have to face racism like a Black guy who comes from Africa?
No, I feel it's really different. It's really different. I think coming from Africa is a whole different story. Like people give you the stereotypes like, wow, how did you manage even to come here? I think you must be enjoying this place because I know maybe your home country, it's so hot, people are dying. Oh, tell me about like Ethiopia. I saw some kids dying. People like see you from those angles. But at the same time, when you try to explain to them and tell them, look, Africa is not that hot as you think. Like my home country has maybe the best climate than even, let's say, the climate in Bogota, Colombia. And they will be like, what? You're lying. But if you show them pictures, you really change their mind. But I would say, as Black Americans, when they come to Colombia, the fact is, as long as you look black, I feel like it's more the same treatment. But when you express to people and tell them like, I'm from the US, people now tend to take you differently. And if you say I'm from Africa, that's when now people start like putting some barriers for you and saying, oh, so this guy is African or this guy is from the US. Yeah. But at the face value, even sometimes they think you are Colombian at the face value, because they're also Blacks in Colombia. And but unless you speak, they will still even think you are Colombian. Yeah. Like me, most of people thought I was from like Cartagena or maybe San Andres or maybe Cali. Yeah, many people. But once I spoke like hey, or when even I spoke my Spanish, they'd be like, why, you're not from here? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let me ask you this, because I know, like here in Poland, I've ran into some Nigerian guys.
Yeah.
Nigerians are everywhere. They're in
Yeah,
Kenya.
it's true.
It's like Nigerians are in the trees. They're like in the clouds. Like Nigerians are
Yeah.
everywhere. They're
Yeah, that's
beneath
true.
the surface. They're behind the buildings. They're like in your microwave. Nigerians are everywhere. What Nigerian
Yeah.
dudes will do is they will tell, because like a person from Brazil or like a Colombia or a
Yeah.
person from, okay, let me say what I'm saying is this. If I
Yeah.
go to Uganda,
Yeah.
the Ugandan will know. If I speak, they will know this
Yeah, that's
guy's from the
true.
West.
Yeah.
If a Nigerian goes to Uganda and he's from Nigeria, he cannot say he's from the United States because he has an accent.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
That's
they will
very true.
know that the Nigerian guy, you're not from the United States.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's very true.
if you hear me talk, it's almost certain that you know that I'm from the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing though. Nigerian guys, when they come to Poland, or let's say Colombia, or African guys when they go to Colombia, what they will say is they're African American. But the Polish
Yeah,
person can't
that's
tell
true. Yeah.
that what they just know your
Yeah.
English accent. And the Colombian, can they tell if a person's from, like, if you say you're from America, can they tell? They don't
They
know.
can't tell. They can't tell. Yeah, they can't.
Okay.
But I realized because most of like us Africans, we speak like the British English. So like we say like 40 instead of 40. And so even what I've seen some other guys, like I had a friend who used to say like he's British, like British African, I don't know, British African or African British. I don't know even, man. He confuses me. I don't know. He was not proud of like being African from Africa. So he would say like I'm a British born African. Like my parents are African, but I was born in the UK. Or yeah, I've seen guys who do that. But for me, I think that is like having like sorry, a low self-esteem. But to be very honest, like with my own life, I've always, but this guy one day told me to tell a girl that I'm from the UK. And I regret up to today because when I told this girl that I'm from the UK, and this girl like had traveled to the UK, so she started asking me questions like, hey, tell me about this. Hey, did you ever visit this place? I'm like, oh my God. So and yeah, her name. I also made a video with her. Her name is Vanessa. You can check. Like. But one day I woke up and told her, look, girl, I'm not from the UK. I'm from Kenya. Like, and the funny thing is, because I told her I'm from the UK, man, like she took me to the best restaurants in Bogota, and man, I spent money like man.
You spend a lot of money.
So she say, oh, let me show you. Like we have the best Colombian this in this restaurant. Me, I'm like, okay. It was our first date, man. Now I'm like playing to be the UK guy.
Mhm.
And since that day, like not even since, I just did it like once, but to be very honest, I regret it and I really regret it. And my friend who told me like that, after that I went and told him like what had happened. Like I'd spent like 4 times the normal money that I would spend in a normal date. So man, it was really, really like sad for me, man. And I just tested being like British African, but I felt like I don't belong, man. I just have to say the truth. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a big lesson.
Let me ask you this, because I want to get back to this whole racism piece.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced, because definitely in Poland, like people will automatically assume like I'm African. They don't think like, oh, you're a black American. Like the Brazilian people, they understand that because blacks have been coming to Brazil for a long time. They understand that
Yeah.
there is such a thing as black Americans. There are a lot of people in the USA that don't know that there's like such a thing as a black American. So I just want to know about this. Like, have you experienced certain blatant forms of racism from people in Bogota against you because you're black?
No, I'll say, okay, this is how I'll say, sometimes it's not like racism, but more of stereotypes. Yeah. Not more of racism, but they see you in stereotypes. Like maybe they don't feel, let's say people will feel not safe, like if they see a black guy just walking like this. Sometimes even you may find, maybe you're in a lane and maybe the other person crosses to the other lane, and you'll be like, wow. Or maybe you go to speak to a person and say hola, and they take like some time before they respond to you. Maybe they look at you or they do this. You feel like, there's that normal conversation when you say hola and the other person say, oh, hola, ¿cómo estás? They like respond. But sometimes you may find like people take like a little while looking at you like, so, or maybe let's say you're in the public transport and maybe you sit in a chair and you find maybe the next chairs nobody sitting, but it's not that common. I'll say maybe it happens like maybe, let's say 7% of like my general stay. Yes, but generally I think Colombians are more accommodating. I don't think there's a better country for blacks than Colombia. Yeah, because I made like hundreds of friends. I met like beautiful girls you can imagine. I spoke to them, asked them everything. Like, man, I was just saying, like, sometimes, like right now, I feel like there's this thing about my visa being denied, and also my friends have been denied visas. I have a friend from Uganda, his visa has been denied. I have a friend from Kenya, not even one. Many Africans have been denied their visa. So we feel like it's more of like a racial thing, because you can't explain why other colleagues will get visas. Maybe these guys are from Russia or India, but we Africans, we are like denied. So we feel like, yeah, it's a racial thing. So we feel like the government at some point, maybe they have reached a point and they've said, no, we don't want these guys here anymore. So I feel like that, I feel it, but I wrote an email to the immigration and I told them by then, like, I feel like we as Africans, we are being like segregated and being like, discriminated against. So they responded back to me and saying, no, I wrote that email to the Colombian embassy in Kenya, because they have an embassy in Kenya, and asked them, like, I've decided to write for you this email because I'm a Kenyan, and you being in Kenya, maybe you may appreciate, I will appreciate as you answering me than maybe directly from the Colombian government. So the embassy in Kenya wrote an email back and told me they are forwarding my case to the Colombian government. And what the Colombian government it wrote me an email saying, we as a government in Colombia, we have the obligations to reject or accept a visa with no explanations. And that was like the whole conversation. So yeah, sometimes you feel it, but you wonder, I feel like maybe before they were so nice, but right now I feel like the government itself, it's like up to an agenda, yeah, especially with blacks, yeah, especially blacks from Africa. Having a US passport is like, you're like king, man. You're like, yeah. Yeah, having a US passport, man, you're like the boss of the world. Yeah, you don't have like to worry. And people even don't profile you as they profile, like, say, being an African. Even right now in Mexico, as I was crossing at the immigration, these guys like scrutinized me like for 7 minutes. Like, and I was with some white guys from like the UK. We were like from the same plane, and they went to the immigration officer. The guy just saw the passport, a stamp.
That is so fucking true. Oh yeah. My God.
But when I was there, this guy was like, he saw my passport, he was like, Kenya. And he looked at it, he was like, where you from? Where are you going to stay? Like for 7 minutes, until I looked at this guy like in his eyes and said, oh my God. That's when he stamped my passport. Like, that's when he gave me like, and even before that, he called another guy to come and look at me. And I asked them, what do you really need? I have my flight out of Mexico. I have my visa, which has like a multiple entry. I have my money. I asked them, do you want me to show you how I make money? So they were asking me how much money I have. What, they were totally profiling me, Yeah. But I feel like maybe next time if somebody does that to me, I'll just tell them in the face, like, hey, stop this, man. Yeah. Sometimes, you stay humble and just like flow with the river, how it goes. But I realize sometimes you just have to stand and say, look, yeah. But I'm not afraid, man. I'm just like doing it. Yeah.
Let me take a time right here, guys. We got 134 people watching. Now, this is what I want to do, because we have a good interview, man. My boy, I am _ Is it Mara, right?
Marwa, yeah,
Marwa. That's okay.
yeah.
Do me a favor, right? I want everybody to get the likes up on the video. Okay. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? All the way. We've been linking up. He's in Mexico. You know, it's my third stream today. And again, one of my favorite YouTubers, the best African, one of the best black YouTubers in the world. No offense, IMR. We both agree. Wode Maya is in the building, right? Everybody knows Wode Maya over here.
Oh, let me see.
Huge channel, man. He's funny as fuck. And I love my brother, man. Wode Maya. We had a really big debate about the Black Panther thing. And if the African perspective, I'm actually that IMR real quick. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like a very big, I have my, you know, I'm tribalistic in the way that I'm African American. I'm a very proud African American YouTuber. You guys know that. And he's a very proud Ghanaian YouTuber. But we are still brothers, right? That is my brother. I am a big fan of his channel. I'm a fan of I Am Mara, and we all talk offline, right? Me, Wody Maya, we talk on Randy Flag on WhatsApp. I know I Am Mara talks to Wody Maya, and I just want to just salute my brother because he came from humble beginnings in Ghana to do what he's doing in China, similar to you, I Am Mara. Like we all three of us, we came to the country not knowing shit. Like we're all living in another country that's not our own. Like Wode's living in China, I'm living in Poland, you're living in Mexico, and we all just took risk and came and so that's just something that we all have in common. So I want to just give him some recognition whenever I see him. I always let my brother know I love him. He has a wonderful channel. I want him to keep growing. His little brother has a channel, so I want everybody to subscribe to my man Wode Maya in the building. I got to get him on here for a one-on-one. Let me do this real quick. I want to talk to you about this. When you date an attractive Colombian woman and you are African, what do the Colombian guys think about that? Is there some animosity?
Okay, so I'll say like this is the fact. Like Colombia has too many girls that nobody cares. Like too many girls. Like really nobody cares. Like at all. Yeah, at all. Like too many girls. Like nobody cares. Yeah, this is the fact. Like me, I'll say, man, like I don't know. I don't know if I should say I'm blessed just for having many women. I don't know, man. But sometimes I've had girls that only existed in my dreams. Like I've had like the most beautiful girls you can ever imagine. Like super beautiful, even more than many Colombian guys. And I didn't pay, I didn't do anything, man, just the vibe, just me and them vibing. And it's really, really crazy, man. And even sometimes they invite me to their families. It's really funny. Colombia, people are so open-minded. Even many girls have invited me to meet their moms, to meet their families, to meet their brothers, Yeah. But the fact is, I think it's because Colombia has like too many beautiful girls that really, really nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Like, yeah. Let's say even when I was in Colombia, when I was new in Colombia, I would see like a girl and be like, wow, that guy is beautiful. But even before I say she's beautiful, before I finish, another girl passes, I'm like, so like my first week in Medellin, when I arrived in Colombia, I stayed in Bogota for 2 weeks in a hotel with my company. Then they took me to my workstation, which was in Medellin, Colombia. And I lived next to a public university. Man, it was just like super, super crazy. Like, but at the same time, I would say Colombia has like black males. So like it has a black population too. And those guys interact freely with like the white Colombian girls. Mm-hmm. So it's totally normal. Like I see like nobody really cares. Yeah. Nobody really cares. Yeah. I think it's because there are too many girls, and even a lot of Colombian guys, they really even don't value their women so much. They are not like, oh, I really value this girl. I think they are used to the beauty. They are used to these too many girls. Yeah, it's like they really don't care. Maybe for me, I would say, oh man, this girl is beautiful. Let me take care of her. But for Colombians, they will be like just taking care of her like a normal day. Yeah, it's like there's nothing happening like too serious. Yeah.
Shout out to Black American expat who's currently in the Philippines, and that's a good channel, man. That you should connect with my brother, man, out in the Philippines. I'll link you up, Mara, with him. He's currently in the Philippines. He's a good dude to work with. He's a Black American. He said, "What we see as beautiful, the locals see as average," and that is so true. Because even when I was in Uganda, it'd be like girls walking around with just a gang of ass, and I'm like, "Oh my god, do you see how fine she is?" And like those guys, they don't even care. They're like, "What?" Like you're just like walking around like it's nothing. It's normal to them. And shout out to Taylor Made Dreams. Taylor Made Dreams was saying the same thing about Colombia. Like the guys there, man, he saw like a security guard like knock a chick out, and like nobody cares. You know, it's just like business as usual.
Yeah, and it's really funny. It's really funny because you'll meet like the guys you think they are so beautiful. You meet them doing local jobs like security guards. They are maybe like even cleaning. Man, you'll be like, oh man, I wish this was like my girlfriend, man. And she's just doing like very local jobs. Like you'll be like, wow, yeah. And it's so normal in Colombia, super normal. Maybe for you, you'll be like, wow, this girl is hot. But for any other guys, like, oh, he's just working. Like, yeah, they really don't care. Yeah.
Let me do this. And Wody Maya, you know I just came back from Brazil, so let me ask some questions, right? Because I got a lot of brothers that are interested in Colombia. So I am going to ask the question I know you guys want to know about the differences between Bogota versus Medellin. And guys, go to the description and subscribe to IM_Mara. He has 20,000 Dark Seth. Sorry about that. We didn't know that was a coffee company. That's actually a coffee company. Shout out to Dark Seth. So go into the description. I'm going to promote. If you guys want to get subscribed to I Am Mara's channel, press 1. And I will put the link in the description. I want everybody to subscribe to him. But let me talk about cost of living real quick. Because a lot of guys want to know. If I'm living in Bogota, Colombia, right? And then we're going to talk about your, you know, how you got to YouTube, started making money on YouTube, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the cost of living? How much money do I need to, you know, to live a good life in, you know, in Colombia? Like, you know, nice place in Bogota, right? Nice place, you know, internet, housing. Let's talk to me about some of those things. So, talk to me about the housing if you can first.
Yeah. So I think on average, I'll say if you make $1,000 a month, you can be a king in Colombia. You know, just a normal king, not like super king, but you can be a king. Because in Colombia, $500 per month, you'll find like a 1-bedroom house with all like stuffs. It all depends sometimes because other people prefer having like empty houses and like filling them, but you can find already like nice apartments with like everything, beds, television. All you have to do is just go with your clothes and you'll find fridges. $500 you can like find a very nice house for you. It all depends. Sometimes in other areas you may find like maybe they're empty houses, but maybe you'll have to buy like chairs and stuff. But most of the houses they are furnished. I mean, yeah, they are furnished. And let's say, for example, me, I was living in Colombia, but I was living a very normal life with like it was just more of a room. Maybe I can show you where I am right now. It was more of like this size, and it had like a bed. It was more of this. You can see the walls. Mm-hmm. It was more of this size, and I was paying $150 per month. Okay. Yeah, and the internet was super fast, and that is everything included. But we were sharing a kitchen. But if you want to say like a boss, just by your own, everything so private, $500 a month, you'll find a nice house. Okay. But also it depends. If you want to stay with the rich guys, you'll have to pay more. Maybe I think the most you can pay is $700. The most. That is like that area is so poshy, like very poshy. Yeah. Like only for the rich guys, yeah, 700. But I know from anything $300, you find something good. Anything from $300, 1 bedroom. I mean, 1 bedroom, a very nice area. Yeah, not a nice area where you can go partying, you can find restaurants, you can find shops, shopping malls. You know, yeah. Anything from 300 to 500, yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. So, like, internet is important, right? Now,
Yeah.
what about like? Cause see, I have high speed internet. I know like that's a problem in like I don't know about Kenya. Does Kenya have better internet than Colombia? Do you think or?
No, 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 no. Colombia has like, I think it has like 70% better because Kenya is like Cuba. Like you have to buy internet using like the scratch cards, you know. You have to buy those cards and put like the airtime and buy the MBs. So like let's say like $10 you spend like for 2 days and that is it.
Okay.
But in Colombia, every house has Wi-Fi, and that's why I think even my channel grew because I didn't have problems with internet. I would even upload sometimes. I would like combine videos of a whole week, which is like 1 hour, and upload them like within maybe 15 minutes. Yes, or even lesser than that. Like the place I stayed, and it all depends. Sometimes you may go to a building with a very low internet and you talk to the owner and tell him, actually, I don't like this internet, it's too slow.
Okay.
You buy a package which is like fast. So it's more about the packages that they buy. But most of the time, everywhere you go in Colombia, you'll access internet, especially in the towns, even the small towns. Every household has internet,
Okay.
especially Wi-Fi. Every household, yeah.
What about the cell phone? Like, let's talk about getting a cell phone there. How much is a cell phone, in Colombia? What am I looking for? Like, per month?
So yeah, it's really funny because I realize like people from like the US, like they buy packages, like you have to pay packages. But in Colombia, for example, like me, most of the time I used to spend like let's say $3 a week. Yeah, $3. Let me see. Yeah, around $3 a week. Because most of the time, anywhere I am in a building, there's free Wi-Fi. Not even like free. You just ask, hey, help me the password of the Wi-Fi, and they give you. So even that, I just needed that when I'm just outside the house or when I'm walking in the streets, like $3. And it's not something huge. All you have to do is just buy a cell phone, and you buy maybe a local SIM card, and from there you can feed it. Like $3, $5, man, you good. Like you don't have to worry. You can watch YouTube videos. You can, and most of the time you find yourself in buildings, and every building in Colombia, every has internet. Yeah, I lived in Colombia for 2 years, so everything I'm telling you is like very accurate as to my experience. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Have you been to like Cartagena before or Cali?
No, no, no. I've never been to those cities. I've only lived in Medellin
Medellin.
and Bogota. And the fact is, I really wanted to go, but I was an English teacher, so most of the time I used to work like from Friday to not from Friday, from Monday to Friday to Saturday. So I just had like a free day, which was on Sunday. So because of that, I couldn't travel at all. And I used to work with a private company. So
Okay.
for them is every time is like gold to them. And even Saturdays, that's when like many students have free time, they can go and learn. So I never went to those towns. But many of my friends who still live in Colombia, they have been to Cartagena. And even I living in Colombia, I still have the feeling of Cartagena. I can still tell what to expect in Cartagena. Yes.
Let me ask you this real quick. As far as getting a bank account, because I know getting a bank account here in Poland is like very, very easy. As long as you have the visa, you have a passport, you can get a bank account in Poland, like with even no money. Um,
Yeah.
how hard was it for you to get a bank account in Colombia and start it, that way?
So the fact is, if you don't have a job with an organization, it will be difficult to get a bank account. Because what really happens is the organization you are working for writes a letter and says, this is our employee, and we want him to have a bank account with you guys. So with that letter, you just go with your ID card. And the funny thing is in Colombia, as long as you're staying for more than 3 months, you must have something we call cedulars. It's like a national ID. So and everything that runs opening those bank accounts, you open with those cedulars. You can't open with your passport. And for you to get those cedulars is more of you working with a company. But it all depends. Sometimes you may go to Colombia as an artist, as a musician. So you can go to a bank and if the government gives you those cedulars, that's what really matters. If you have a cedula which is like more than 3 months, like it gives you that time space, or it gives you more like days over like 3 months, you can open a bank account, depending how you argue out your case. But let's say you are a tourist and you just want to open a bank account all the time, it's very difficult because, about drugs and everything, people feel like you're getting money from like somewhere. Like me, for example, even on my YouTube channel, I used to get paid through Western Union. And at some point, they blacklisted me. They thought maybe I was like dealing in like black businesses. And now I had to download all my payments, go and explain to those guys like, look, this is where my money is coming from. So yeah.
Oh, so
and the government, and I think
payments through Western Union.
Yeah. I used to earn my YouTube payment. I like last month was my first time to get the like direct pay to my bank account. That is because when I left Colombia, YouTube told me like I cannot change my account to another country, not unless I have to close that account and start like a new account, like resubmit again, like everything. So I had to work around with my bank and with YouTube and let YouTube like pay me directly to my bank account, because I was afraid me leaving Colombia and my money just going to Colombia like that every time. I felt like maybe it's not like very secure, but I had no option. But previously I used to get my money through Western Union. Yeah, because it was very easy. YouTube just sent you a code, and with the code, you go with your national ID, you show the guy in the Western Union, and they give you the money. You just have to sign papers, and it's like 2 minutes, and they give you everything. So for me, it was like the best way, because I felt like I'm not keeping my money to any bank or anything. Yeah.
Let me kind of talk to you basically about the YouTube thing, because for me, Wode Maya, yourself, we started doing YouTube as something like that's just like, I don't know, maybe fun, and then it turned into something more.
That's
even though I do it part-time, it's something that like it's more like, in some cases, better than what I was doing when I was working full-time. How has YouTube changed your life now?
Man, I think, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just like sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I still feel like I'm living in dreamland. Like I still don't believe what I do. Not like what I do, I still don't believe like where YouTube has like taken me, man. Because previously I used to work like 8 hours a day, and I used to work for 6 days a week, like in Colombia. Like in my private organization, I used to work like from Monday to Saturday, 8 hours each day. And they would pay me like $500. And sometimes on YouTube, I would make at least 2 times that, man, Because when I do lives, people contribute to my channel, $5, $10, $50, man. And sometimes sometimes I remember one Sunday I did a live stream and people contributed over $350 in just 2 hours. Like YouTube has totally changed my life, like totally, man. And now I'm able to travel. Like I live on YouTube. Like even right now I'm in Mexico. Like YouTube is just everything, man. Yeah. But when I started, even I didn't think of making money. Me, I was like, I just want to show people, especially like a lot of friends from Kenya used to ask me, hey, tell me about like your, hey bro, what's up? Yeah. So people used to tell me like, hey, tell us about what is about Colombia. So I started YouTube more of like telling people like what Colombia is about. But it was really funny when I made a video about like Colombian nightlife, my first video that went a little viral, but at that time it was like viral. When I made a video about girls and I was like dancing with some girls, and then it was like really, really so nice. And the video like blew the internet. Then I was like, oh, so it means if I make videos with girls, like they get views and everything. And even that time, I used to make like maybe $1 in a week. Like I didn't even, because I had like 16 subscribers. But the funny thing is, the idea of YouTube came after a failure. We were working on a project like when I was in Medellin, Colombia, I met some other black guys from Colombia and other students from the university that I lived close to, and we were like, we want to do like memes, you know, those jokes that you do, like let's say you play like, let's say you text a girl, she doesn't reply, and the reaction that you make. So we were trying to do those short videos for like Instagram and Facebook. But when we did our first 3 videos, we used to do the videos on Sunday. So after like a month, all of my friends were like tired, and I had like saved for like 6 months to buy the camera to shoot those videos. Then I was left with the camera, which was very expensive in my hands. And many of my friends were like, no, today I have my girlfriend, or today I have to do this. So I was left with the camera wondering, what should I do with this? Then I was like, no, let me tell people about my life, being black in Colombia. Let me tell people about like how to have a girlfriend in Colombia as a black guy. And man, it was just as a joke. Like, even if you watch my first videos on YouTube, you'll be like, oh man, yeah. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know anything. So I used to go like to the internet and ask, which is the best software to edit videos? And I would see how to download a software for free, you know, so everything I just learned like from YouTube, man. Like, so the funny thing is my visa expired in December, not like expired, my contract ended and my visa came to an end. So I could not renew my visa because it was December, and all companies were like, no, we shall only know when we want to recruit new people in January. And this was December and my visa has expired. I was like, now where should I go? And the company that I came with in Colombia told me, no, right now we cannot approve anything. We cannot like help you. You just need to get out of the country. Then I was like, wow, so where should I go to? So I looked like a country I could go to, which does not require which does not require like a visa, you know, like Kenyan visa-free country to go. Just around here in America, like in Americas, like North, Central, or South. I just found Panama. Panama was the only country I could stay, and it was really fun, like 6 months. It was really a long period. And all other countries, like even Costa Rica or the next neighboring countries in Colombia, I required visa. So I went to Panama like running away from Colombia, you know, because I didn't want to stay there illegal. But the funny thing is I stayed 1 week illegally in Colombia and I had to pay fines, but they didn't have a problem with that. They were like, no, it's totally okay. It will not affect you even when you try to renew your visa again. This is a thing like, for them it's very chill. It's not like something so huge like to stay like a week, or I had stayed for a week. So when I went to Panama, I was like jobless and I didn't have enough money because most of my money I had like saved. I used to earn like $500 a month. And with that $500 a month, I stayed for a whole year in Colombia without earning. And also I was able to save to buy my first camera, which was like, it's a 70D, which was over like $1,200. And also I was able to pay my flight ticket in December, like from Colombia to Panama. You know, in December, it's like really a crazy period in terms of traveling. So I went to Panama, and that's when I did my first video of Panama nightlife. And when I did that video like changed the whole of my YouTube channel, because since day one, the video started going viral. And as we speak right now, it has like over 2 million views, just one video. So that video brought like new views, new subscribers, and people are like, man, thank you for visiting Panama. Thank you for showing this video. Please do more, do more. And my other Colombian videos were doing more, were like doing better. And man, I realized, oh, so I went to YouTube and Google how to make money on YouTube. So I realized you can monetize your videos. I monetized my videos. So I used to make like, let's say, like $5 a week, or maybe $7 at the starting. But as I speak, man, I think things have really changed, and I became so aggressive with YouTube. And when I went back to Colombia the following year in February, I made videos with girls, and people would ask me crazy questions, and I'll go to the streets and try to answer those questions. And the videos went viral, and man, I could not help it. And up to date, man, I think like just life has totally changed, man. Like people look at me from home and they be like, wow, Fred, what's up? Wow, I saw you on YouTube. My mom, like, Yeah, so yeah, YouTube has totally changed my life, like totally, man. Like I travel, I can sleep, I can wake up with no worries, man. I can book a flight ticket, and right now I'm in Mexico. I'm going to Cuba in the next 2 days, and man, I'm just seeing like it's just a whole new life. Yeah.
Let me ask you. I mean, not to
Yeah.
be in your business, you have to put in them out, but
Yeah.
you were to say your YouTube earnings, like, would you say, like, if you were living in Kenya, well, actually, let me say this now. Could you do the same? I mean, could you still do this if you had to go back to Kenya? Do you think you would still be able to do the same thing you're doing now with YouTube?
Okay, I think things may change. Things may change in this way. I realized like I was in a country people are so interested in, and nobody really showed them what they wanted to know. And me doing YouTube in Colombia, I realized like a lot of people like I really opened a lot of people's mind, and they were like, wow, this is Colombia. People are like, people thought like Colombia people are dying with like bullets and maybe bombings. And then I show people like these girls, and the girls are so beautiful. And man, I'm just this guy, this black guy from Africa, like even his accent is not like straight. But man, people look at me and be like, wow, how is this? I get those messages like on Facebook, Instagram. People go crazy, man. People ask me, how do you come and speak with these all beautiful girls? What do you do with them? And man, I'm like, wow. But I realized like, if I go to Kenya, this will be the big difference. Maybe I may not get as many views as I get, like making videos of this side, but I'll get more subscribers going back in Kenya. I feel like going back to Kenya, people will be like, oh man, so this is one of us who went away, and he has been doing all these things. I feel like many people will be associating their day-to-day life with me. They will be like, wow, so this is like a Kenyan guy. So I feel like that will give me more subscribers, and maybe even I think maybe if I go back to Kenya and do things like a giveaway, let's say I'm giving like a laptop and tell people if you subscribe, I'll give you this laptop. I feel like maybe even within maybe 1 month, my YouTube channel may even get 100,000 subscribers. I think so, and especially if they see my videos and they be like, wow.
Right.
So yeah, I realized my biggest problem as a black YouTuber in Colombia is many people don't connect with me, but many people just love my content. People love like my videos, but people don't really connect with me like because there's no part me and them we really connect. Like we don't have like similar background. We don't have like. But let's say if I was a Colombian YouTuber, I think even my channel would be big in terms of subscribers because I think my channel is going to 8.9 million views and it has like 1 year. So you can imagine 8.1 million views. Even I see other big YouTubers with, let's say, 100,000 subscribers, but they have like maybe 5 million views or maybe 7 million views. I realize for me, it has been difficult to get subscribers because many people even don't know who this guy is. People are like, what the fuck is this guy? Who is this guy with this? Yeah. And people will be like, who is this guy with this funny comments, but not funny, like funny accent, but with beautiful girls. But the good thing is I give people what they want. Like I go to the streets, I ask those crazy questions. I ask girls if they love black guys. And then, like my second most watched video is, oh my, like watch this Latin girl confess about black men. Oh my God. And the girl in the video, man, goes like crazy, says how she had sex with one black girl and like one black guy, and she has never forgotten about it. And this girl is crazy beautiful. And now people nearly killed me in the comments, man. Like they were like, man, fuck you, go back to Africa, do this. And man, as I speak, the video has over 5,000 over 5,000 comments. And every day is a war, every day. Even when I see comments from I don't really know. This is just on its own. Yeah, and the video has like 800,000 views. So And I just made a simple video. Even sometimes I see when people say, you paid the girl to say this, what she said. And man, it was just a very natural street talk. Yeah. So it's really crazy.
Let me ask you a question. Shout out to Wally Maya wants me to ask you this because this is something that we both responded to. Okay,
Yeah.
because Wally Maya has a Chinese girlfriend. Shout out to his girlfriend is like really funny and she does the videos with him. You guys might have seen her. She actually is part of his some of his videos or some of his like strategy with some of the skits they do. He says he gets called a coon because he's an African guy. He's living in China,
Yeah.
dating a Chinese girl. Now, I think what's different. Now you're dating a Colombian girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have several. Let me just be honest. Like
several. Player.
yeah.
Okay,
It
so
just
in my
happened.
culture, for
Yeah.
African Americans, for the most
Yeah.
part, it is like if you're in a place where they're like non-black women,
Yeah.
is smiled upon. It's frowned upon actually. Like if I was to
Yeah.
go abroad and date a Polish chick, my
Yeah.
community wouldn't like that.
Wouldn't like or would like?
No, the African American community they would be very upset about that, right? The black
Oh,
community
wow.
is
Yeah.
different from like African guys. You guys can go out and date other races of women,
Yeah.
and your community will
Yeah.
not shame you about it. But in my community, it's frowned upon. You can actually opportunities can be like cut away from you
Wow.
in our community if
Wow.
you go date interracially. So I want to know: have you been called a coon by anybody who sees you date like Mexican girls in your like? Do some African American people come in and call you a sellout or you're a self hater? How can you be a Kenyan and you're dating a Mexican woman or a Mexican white woman? Like you should be ashamed of yourself. Why are you not with your
Yeah.
own Kenyan woman? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So for me, I would say I get this from women. I get it from like the black girls, especially. But this is one thing. Is the funny thing is many black American guys, and by the way, I think 49% of my viewers, I think they're Americans, and I think 70% of that population is black. 49% of my viewers are black. No, they are from America, from the US, and I think 70% are black guys. But so the funny thing is, they really don't understand me. Like when they look at me, like black Americans, when they look at me, they really don't understand me because they see me like this African guy who even maybe they don't have much connection with, even we don't know each other, like I'm from a different part of the world, even maybe I've never been to the US. So they really they can't even judge me. So they just look at me and tell me, man, I just like what you do, man. Continue doing it more. Keep shining. That's what they tell me. Like in the comments, they tell me, I love your work, I love your courage. And most of them, when they come to Colombia, most of them, I meet them when I was in Colombia. Most of them, they tell me, man, I'm coming to Colombia in this time. I want to see you, man. You take me around. I meet them. So for me, I feel like the black guys from the US, I feel like they always feel like they also want to be in my position. Like they want to date out, like out of the US. They want to date these Colombian girls. And I feel like maybe I inspire them. That's what I feel because sometimes when I meet them maybe as my subscribers in Colombia. They take pictures of me and they feel so happy, man. We go out. They like celebrate the moment with me. I feel like for them, they feel like maybe they have been judged too much, that maybe they have found some freedom away from home, and then they just want to leave. Most of them, because I've met a couple, maybe around maybe I would say since I started YouTube, like over 100 subscribers, and 70% they're like black guys from the US. Most of them, or maybe you might find maybe they're Africans, but they moved to the US or to the UK. Yeah, but in Africa it's very different. When you date a girl, especially like in Africa we don't have like Latina, we don't have like Chinese, we don't have like where I come from. I'm speaking about Kenya. Maybe other countries could be, but in Kenya, as long as the girl is not black, she's white. So, and we have a word, we call them wazungus. So wazungu is any white person, either Latina, Chinese, Japanese. any, as long as she's just white, the color, as long as she's not black, she's white. And in Kenya, they celebrate you. People celebrate you. People see like families. I've seen like families where like in the villages, like where I came from, people celebrate you. They see like it's like something you've like crossed the boundaries. You know, like you've been mad. You know, in Africa, we have this like to conquer thing. Like you've conquered. You know, people see you in that perspective. But I would say me being in a position like where I date these girls, I don't really see like I'm conquering. I just feel like I'm just a lucky guy. I'll just call myself lucky because I've had opportunities like to date African women. I've had opportunity to date like Latin women. And even in Mexico here, I've dated like a Canadian girl, you see. So like, I see like it's just an opportunity which just came to me, but I don't see like a hero. But in Africa, people view you like you this strong guy who has like conquered, you know. Yeah. But they don't see like in racial things. And I have to be very clear. In Africa, I realized that we are not racist. I think we are more like welcoming and more like, wow. Yes, like everything for us is like a surprise. Wow, you know that guy married a white girl, or you know that guy, he's in this, wow. But I realize other countries, people try to see like you are black, you should stay. Like in Colombia, I'll get like the black Colombian girls hit on me like really, really hard. Like, come on, you're pushing the white agenda. You're pushing the Latin white girl agenda. You're pushing. And even on my Instagram, man, they will still follow me on my Instagram and man comment. Let's say I put, I wish I can show you those comments. I still have them here. Girls who just hit on me like the black girls in Colombia. They tell me, "Oh, you're pushing the white agenda." So, and this is what I experienced, like trying to date black girls in Colombia. So, as a black guy, when you approach a black girl in Colombia, especially a Colombian, the first thing they see is you've seen me as the easy option. That's what they see. Mm-hmm. If you go for a black girl in Colombia, they see, oh, so you've left all these white girls, so you've come to me. So they see you like you've seen her like the easy option or the easy to eat girl, you know, like mm-hmm. you know, this is like the easy girl for me. Mm-hmm. And even the videos I made about many of our black girls in Colombia, especially like the black Colombian girls, the videos I made on my YouTube channel, most of them I ended up deleting them because those girls, after like people watching the videos and commenting, the girls would come back and say, man, I don't like the comments, please delete this video, please do this, please, I don't like that video anymore. And you know, they can't stand the pressure. But the other girls like from Colombia, the white girls, you know, I call them white because they are just different from what I think. For them, even if people say anything, they really don't care. But for the black guys, they are very sensitive, very, very sensitive. Like, would make a video, within 1 week, I have to delete the video. Because the girl is like, come on, I don't like what people are saying. I don't like the comments. And you know, sometimes in the internet, you can't control who is saying who is saying this. And sometimes even they comment when you are not aware. But the girl did, because the girl did the video, she always goes back and reads the comments. And if she sees anything like this, like maybe something like even sexual, like, wow, I like her booty, or I like this, they feel like take down the video. So that was the problem. And many people always like questioned me, why are you not making videos with like black girls or everything? But you know, I had this reason, like if I make videos with them, I end up deleting the videos. Or maybe I end up like having problems with the girl saying, oh, please delete. I'm like, no, come on, the video is okay. She's like, oh man, delete. So even sometimes, and you know, before and even meeting the black girls in Colombia, it was too hard, especially like in Bogota. You can't even find them a lot. And even the one that I made interviews with was the girl.
She was very pretty. The one that you didn't meet, she was beautiful.
Who?
The one black girl in Bogota. You did 2 videos with her. Very beautiful.
Yeah, she's very nice, man. She took me to her home. You know, the mother is white, the father is black, but she's like black because she took like the father's like part of the skin. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, genetics. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the girls, even the black girls in Colombia, they are very, very beautiful, very beautiful, and they look different from the African girls. By the way, they look so different.
Did you want to date her? Did you end up? Did you like? Why didn't you? Did you end up dating her for a minute or?
No, I didn't. Like we just because the funny thing is, this is my problem as a YouTuber who makes videos with girls.
Mhm.
Many of the girls, like maybe let's say we like each other, and she sees my next video with maybe another beautiful girl, she doesn't want to talk to me. She's like, man, yeah, she's like, whoa, man. Even my girlfriend right now, the one that I call my girlfriend, man, she every day she must like complain. She tell me, I saw this video you made. I really didn't like it. You know, I told her, please unsubscribe from my channel. Like, please, don't even watch my videos because, yeah, you know, I told her I'm an entertainer. So you just have to, I don't want to give you a lot of pressure because sometimes you see like the girl I danced with, her name was Nia, like in the video, like
Yeah,
La
I
Vida
subscribe to her.
Loca.
Nia Vlogs.
Yeah. So like that girl, my girl like really died that night. Yeah, even she did like, yeah, like
Yeah, you're all up on her, man.
yeah.
Let me just do this 1 second. Shout out to 6 6 S 617 underscore super chat at $5. He says, "Yo, I was going to email you to interview him. Yo, Mara is the man. What Colombian city is the best for brothers?" Well, let me do this real quick, guys. So I'm not gonna hold them too long. So we'll, you still got about 15 minutes, Mara.
For me, I'm okay. I still anytime I'm so okay. I'm like free. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
okay. So guys,
yeah.
do me a favor. And those of you, you know what I'm saying, like it's like almost 7 in the morning for me, but
Oh
I'm still gonna
wow.
yeah. It's fine. We still got some time. Guys, do me a favor, brothers. Shout out to everybody. I really wanted to do these guys a show for you guys. Get the likes up on the video. I need everybody to subscribe. My man Wode Maya, my brother
Yeah,
Wode
from
Maya.
today.
Wode Maya is still in the chat. Shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do some things. You know what I'm saying? Some collaborations with me and my brother Wode Maya. You know what I mean? He has a big African American audience too. So I want to kind of talk about this. Let me ask you this: what Colombian city would you recommend, like for black men, black American men? Because black American men, they love Latino women. Um,
Yeah.
what city do you think is the best for black men to visit in Colombia?
So I think it all depends what you're looking for. Let's say you're looking for like a one night stand, or you're looking for maybe you're looking for a long term relationship, or you're looking for a wife. So for me, I'll say, Cartagena and Cali, or San Andres, those are cities with a lot of black population. So
Okay.
with those cities, dating there, it's very normal, like to see black or with white or anything. But let's say you you are out of those zones. So you're just like looking at Medellin or Bogota. For me, I would prefer a black guy going to Bogota because I realize Medellin right now, as I speak, it's more of like turning out to be a sex tourism destination, like for many people. But if you want to stay for long in Colombia, Medellin will be okay because you staying for a long time, you meet a normal girl because most of the girls I saw in Colombia, especially in Medellin, Colombia, most of them, especially if you go to these party areas, they are more into looking for this guy with money, and they are looking for like one night stand for a money exchange thing. Or even they want to hustle you. They may not ask you for money, but once you leave, they'll be telling you, oh, my mom is sick, or I want this. But if you want, like for me now, because this is out of my experience, like I stayed in maybe 1 year in Bogota. When I went, man, I used to have like relationships, like girls bring me food at my workplace or do this. Yeah, you wanna say hi? Yeah, come and say hi. Come on. Hey, should I say hi to? Yeah, this is like the
Oh,
live right here. What's your name?
Patricia.
Patricia. Yeah, she's from Argentina, right?
Sí.
You guys say.
Oh, sorry.
Sí.
No, speak English.
No, speak Spanish. Sí, sí.
Speak Spanish. Ah, español.
Yeah, habla español.
¿Quién es? A ver. ¿Quién es?
Es una live, el vivo. Es aquí. Hey, sorry guys, we just interrupted you.
¿Es
So,
la radio?
sí, sí, es en YouTube chat.
Ah,
So, aquí, mira, tú eres aquí ahora.
sí.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to tell her what we're doing. Yeah, she thought, here it shows
Me voy a
just
la
your face.
pileta.
Yeah.
Me voy a la piscina.
Okay.
Vale.
Ok, nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Ciao. So sorry guys, I was interrupted. She's Latina and she's Argentinian. So that is the beauty around here, man. Like I'm so surrounded.
Yeah, that was a good interruption. Goddamn it! I mean, you know what I mean. Let me say this real quick, man. Here's the problem, right? Like y'all know, like me as an African American dude, right? I'm in Poland, and I've never dated a Polish woman ever. I've never dated a white chick in Poland, but because I don't know, man. It's like the African American experience, like with white people and blacks. I don't know. Just for me, it just makes me think like, man, let me stay away from these white women. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of how African American men think when we maybe live in some place, but African men, they don't have that same limitation as much. You know, like black dudes, I would say African Americans, they tend to are more likely to go to places like Brazil and deal with black chicks. They're more likely to go to the Philippines or Colombian or Dominican Republic. Black dudes don't typically go to places like Poland or where like there's like a lot of white women and just deal with them. It's like something that's very. I think that's the way African American men think. So when we see African dudes do this, we're like, damn, y'all are crazy. What'd you say?
Yeah, you know, I realize like I don't know, we are different. I realize like I think growing in the US, I think like the black guy in the US always thinks like maybe I have to stick with my race. Maybe people will call me a sellout, and I feel maybe sometimes the black women in the US, so they like speak out and tell you what are you doing, you know. But in Africa, it's different, man. Even sometimes. My mom always asks me, so you're bringing a white girl home? I'm like, yeah, mom, you be ready to teach her how to cook, like how to cook traditional food. And mom just laughs like, okay, we shall be waiting for her. And, but I realize like in the US, sometimes even I see, or I talk to most of my friends who come here and they tell me, man, I really love this girl, but I'm looking for something like, you know, mixed or something with black, you know. They have to bring this element of like my own race. But for us Africans, we see like, man, we just gonna go for these white girls or any other type of girl that we just meet on the way. And it must not be black, like she must be black or she must be mixed. For us, blonde, anything, man, that is good, you feel like it's good for you, we just go for it. Yeah. And we don't have limitations at all. As I told you, especially like in the villages, when you marry a white girl, people see you like this guy who has conquered, like you've conquered the world, like you've taken the world up, you've like taken it up and just, you know, took it upside down. People see you like this guy, like, even I remember before like in 2012, there's a guy who was from Kenya, from my village. He married a girl from England and this guy died. So in his burial, people used to speak like, you young guys here, you should go out and bring more white girls to our community and build our community, make our community more international. Be like this guy. So this guy was dead, and people would say, be like this guy who just did his thing. Like he told you like, you know, and that was in a burial, man, in my village. And the women there were so happy, and it's really, really funny, man. I realized like this part of the world, people are more racist, man. But Africa, we are not. Africa, you're a white girl, you're anywhere from, people welcome, people say, oh man, come on. Even they want you like to get kids there, and people are like, be part of us. But I realized this other part of the world, people look at you are like, wow, wait, so this black guy wants my daughter. You know, like this, you know, people see you from those angles of like, wow, yeah. Like people are like being careful, you know, like, yeah.
Let me hold on a second. And shout out to my man says this Studio Artifacts. He says, sorry, O'Shea, your channel is cool, but after this, I'm gonna be on this guy's channel for a few days. Well, thank you for the $10 super chat. See, you already taking my subscribers from me, brother.
No, thank you.
Bob Jack.
Thank you for having me. I think we shall do one in my channel too for you.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely
change.
come through. Leave the
Yeah.
Afro-Colombian chicas for me. They are sweet and fine as hell. They are very laid back and easy to vibe with. Thank you there so much, guys. Let me just ask you this, man, because like you had a situation, and I hate to report this, right? Because typically African Americans, the dudes, because not many of our brothers travel, because in the United States, I think what Americans feel as America is the end all be all, you know, why should you go anywhere else? Like we're already in America. Like most Americans are looking at like trying to get to New York or LA or maybe Paris or London in Europe. You know, most African Americans are not looking to travel, but those of us who do travel, like, you know, good reputations, right? Like when I was in Brazil and people found out you're African American, you know, we had a really, really, you know, we have a good reputation. You know what I mean? Like even in Border Patrol, when I give my US passport, usually I just have people just stamp it and just get the fuck on. Like typically they don't really even look at it like as much. So I do notice that the American passports, like, you know, we are treated much differently. Obviously sometimes, not all the time.
That's very true.
We tend to have more money. We tend to have more access to credit, loans, credit cards,
stability, financial stability.
Financial stability, you know, and some of y'all niggas, when y'all go to these places, you guys are getting out there tricking, doing too much, like out in the open. But you did have an experience, man, that was negative with an African American that you met, and he kind of beat you out of some money, and I was sad to hear that because it was like one of our people that did it. But let's kind of talk about how you got scammed, because we always talk about you know, like Nigerian scamming you or African scamming you or something like that. But we actually had one of our dudes scammed you. Let's talk about that.
So guys, as I tell you, is like I think I'm one nice guy. I think that's one of my problem. Like I'm one nice guy. I don't know, and I really feel bad. Like really feel bad when I let people down. I really feel bad because I don't know, man. Maybe my mom taught me some different things that I really like still hold on up to today, even if I'm abroad or anywhere. So let me just give you a short story of what really happened. So, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I make videos with beautiful girls, and many guys really want to meet me so that I can introduce them to these girls I make videos with. But the funny thing, even those girls I make videos with is I just meet them like in 2 minutes and we're already connected and I'm rolling the camera. Mm-hmm. And even after that, it's either me who will ask for their contact or even say no. Because sometimes, let's say if you make a very good video and you feel like this video may go viral, even you don't want to take the contact of that girl because maybe that girl may see that video and see the comments, because especially white guys hate. They really hate, especially when like the girls respond very positively about black guys. They feel like we are taking over, and even people say like we're expanding their peas, you know, like their pussies, but like really crazy comments, man. Like I see really crazy comments on my YouTube channel, or they would even call the girl like, oh, you're like once you go black, you like bought a ticket of being a single mom, like man. Yeah, like I've seen like crazy comments on my YouTube channel, man. Especially if the topic is dealing with like black guys. So let me go back to the story, like how I was scammed. So there's this guy, his name is Cash Dinero, and that is his real name, like his passport name, Cash Dinero. So Cash came to Colombia without my knowledge. Like he didn't tell me that I'm coming to Colombia. He just arrived in Colombia. After 3 days of his arrival, he sent me a message on Instagram. He told me, yo, my name is Cash. I've been watching you since you started your YouTube channel, man. And you really inspired me. And that's why I'm in Colombia today. And I'm in Bogota where you are. And man, I've had like bad experiences. I live in a hotel. I'm paying this type of money. And even the guy who is taking me around is a taxi guy. I had to pay like for his family to go and watch maybe he told me to watch a football match. I was so sad, man. I was so sad, especially like when I realized he's a black guy, you know. Also, you also feel because sometimes we as black guys, we go through many things and we know our struggles, you know. So I was like, man, I've inspired this guy and this guy is here and this is what is happening. I really felt like bad, like really bad, like really bad. So I told the guy, man, do this, man. I work every day, but I'm gonna meet you before I go to work because all the time I used to start my work in the afternoon, like 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I told this guy, we're gonna meet 10 a.m., take a taxi, tell them to this place. So I met the guy. He was really tall, man. Like he was really, really tall. Cash, his name is Cash. So I met Cash Dinero. We talked, we sat down. I told him, man, I'm sorry. He told me his stories. I told him now, next time when you want to come to my place, okay? So tomorrow or after 2 days, you'll come to my place, then we talk about something else. But as we speak, I'll try to see how to help you. So he left. So I went to my house where I used to live, and there was this very beautiful Latin girl with big ass, like really, really big, where like I knew this guy deserves this girl. Like, so I went to this girl, I told her name was Carla. Yeah, I told Carla. She was like my immediate neighbor. So I talked to her, I told her, man, I told her, hey, look, there's this friend of mine, he's from the US, and people are taking advantage of him here, please. He doesn't speak any Spanish. Cash spoke zero Spanish. And when you don't speak Spanish in Colombia, man, you're in a big problem. Because you can't communicate. Nobody speaks English there. People speak, but like 2%. And it's like being so lucky for you to get somebody who speaks English. So I connected this girl to Cash. I ensured Cash has met the girl, and I ensured they are into something. Even now, the girl would go in the evenings to see Cash in his hotel, and the girl helped Cash to find a house. I told Cash, man, I think I've done my part. All now you need is, if you want to go out, maybe you can tell me. When I go filming my videos, we can go out with you. Then Cash would tell me, okay, you just go film your videos. When you're done, tell me. So we'd go with Cash outside and we drink. I really don't drink much, maybe 1 or 2 beers at most. And I show Cash around Bogota City. And the guy stayed in Colombia for 3 months, man. And all that time we used to get in contact. He used to, hey bro, what's up? Where are you? I'm like, man, I'm here. Okay, we used to link up some weekends, no. So man, like he gained my trust, man. I was like, wow. Because for 3 months you're staying around a person, you've never seen any sketchy business he's doing. And even if you help him find a house, if you help him find a girlfriend, he's happy, he's going out, he's taking photos about the city. Man, he's so mental, like, wow. So his visa expired because as a US citizen, you can stay in Colombia for 3 months, but after that you have to leave the country and come back. You must have like a stamp. As long as you have that exit stamp, you can go even for 1 day and come back and continue for other 3 months. Okay. So Cash told me, man, my visa is expiring next week. Not my visa, like my tourist visa is expiring next week. So I'm going to the US and I'll be back. I left my bags here. I've talked to Carla. Carla is now the new girlfriend, you know. And I'm going, man, I'm coming back. And I didn't have a laptop, man. So I had like saved like 1,300 US dollars. I wanted to buy a MacBook, like the 2017 version. So I told this guy, man, in Colombia, this laptop is like $2,000. But in the US, it's like 1,299, like 1,300. So I told him, man, I think when you go back to the US, when you are there, I can send you money if you're okay with that. Then you buy the laptop when you're coming, because he showed me the receipt, he showed me the flight tickets. He was coming the next Monday after a week. I was like, no, I can wait for a week. And even he left his things here. Now he has like a girlfriend. You know, I had a lot of trust, and we stayed with him like for 3 months. I've helped him. Man, once the guy was in the US, 1 week passed. I was like, Cash, are you coming? He told me the mom is sick. I was like, wow. Then I was like, okay, I will wait. Week 2, week 3, Cash, what's the problem? He's like, man, I'm not even sure when I will come back to Colombia. I have to stay with my family. My mom is sick. And I was like, wow, Cash, man. So how will I get my laptop? And you know, now everything, even I had bought my drone. Now it was just seated there. I couldn't edit because my other laptop cannot handle the editing software that I use. I use Adobe. and it would like shut down. So Cash told me, do this, I'll buy the laptop and send you, because I'm not sure when I'm coming back to Colombia. So I was like, man, I have no option. I just agreed because I was like fixed in a corner with no options. So he told me, okay, so I'm gonna buy it next week. So he pushed things like now a whole month and a half. Then he told me, I've bought the laptop even with no receipts, with nothing. And he told me, I've sent you the laptop. So me, I'm in the house waiting for the laptop. I'm like, man, Cash, send me like the tracking number. He sent me a tracking number. When I go even to the internet to try to check that tracking number, because you need to track it down, there is nothing. That's after a week and a half. But a friend of mine told me, man, I saw somebody like Cash yesterday in the club. I was like, no, Cash is in the US. Yeah, sorry.
Just because it's going to like hear everything.
Okay, no worry. Okay.
So there's another spot that's quiet.
Yeah.
You can just hear everything right on the door.
So, okay. So Cash would ask me, no, people, some friend would tell me like, wow, I saw somebody like Cash in a club. I'm like, no, Cash is in the US. He's has like family problems. I'm waiting for the laptop. So one of my subscriber came from the US and he went to a club and he told me, man, I saw Cash. Because me and Cash, we had done videos and I'd posted them on YouTube. People knew who Cash was. And this guy was like, man, I was with Cash last night. We were partying in this club. I'm like, what? Cash is in Colombia? So that's when I knew, man, like this guy has like taken everything from me. So to cut the story short is, man, I started now going to the police, trying to chase him around like, man, give me my money, pay me back. So the guy went to the police and yeah, you know, when I went to the police threatened him and he showed up in the police station and he said, give me like 4 days, I'll pay you back. And after 3 days, he wrote me a message and said, fuck you off. I'm in the US, you tried like to arrest me. I will not do anything you want. And man, he blocked me like on Instagram, he blocked me on WhatsApp because he was my friend. And that was it, man. Like Cash disappeared like that. And since that day, man, I became so afraid, like meeting black guys. Like I was so afraid, especially if people would tell me like, hey man, I'm coming to Colombia, I want to see you, man. I was like, no, man. In my heart, like I was so afraid, man. Like I can't trust anybody. And even people, when I made the video about it, people were like, man, don't trust anybody. No. I became so afraid, man. Like I took like maybe like a whole month to again say, okay, because people would come and say, man, I know Cash did this to you, but I'm here in Colombia. I want to see you, man. I want you to take me around. I'm like, now what should I do, man? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I said, man, maybe one guy should not like, to me, it was a lesson. But again, another thing is many people showed a lot of like support, man. There's a guy, same day I made the video, he sent me $300. Same day, one guy.
Wow. Was he African? Was he a black American guy?
Yeah, black Americans. And yeah. I had never seen even his comment on my YouTube channel. I'd never even seen his face. He just wrote me and told me, hey bro, please, I want you to give me your WhatsApp number. I have a message I want to tell you about the video you just made. And when I sent him, he just told me, man, just give me your full names. I want to send you something just to support you. And man, in my surprise, he sent me $300. I was like, wow. And he's a black guy, man, from the US. Then I was like, wow, Cash is a black guy, but he is another black guy doing this to me. Then I was like, no, man, just forget about Cash. So, and since then I've met a lot of black guys. Even if you see after, we've made videos with other black guys in Colombia. I'd say it was just a lesson, and I really felt bad, like, you know, you being just a black guy. And because, man, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I see like 300 messages. Everybody wants me to answer him, and they want me to tell them where to go, where to date a girl, which girls are good. And it feels very sad if those guys come to Colombia and they say I'm here, and I just don't even answer their messages. I feel like, man, this is totally even inhuman. So I have like to go out with them, take them out. But you see, so I learned a lesson. But I think For me, I think it was like a sad story, which at the end of the day, it was like a lesson. Yeah. So that was the story.
Let me do this. So because guys, shout outs to everybody that's we still have 160 people watching, and get this, Mara, the notifications are not even working, and we still have 160 something people watching. Like, I think if the notifications were working on YouTube, it might be like 400 people. So guys, thank you guys. Let's go ahead and subscribe to Mara. Let me ask you this now, and I was very hurt when I heard that, but as far as like the African Americans, like when I see you go live, would you say most of your super chat support from a lot of Black American guys, or?
No, I think it's more of mix. Yeah, but most people who support me, it's a mix. It's a mix. But this is it. Like, yeah, it's a mix. I can't say like I don't get from Black Americans. It's a mix. People support me a lot, and I think when I made my videos like more general, like I'll make a guy at the center of my videos, not like black guys or white guys. So I got like followers from everywhere, like even from Canada, like white guys, Chinese. So people support me like everywhere, and I cannot really profile and say like these are the people who support me most, because sometimes you may find maybe one guy donates this, the next week is another guy who donates the other thing, in the super chat. So I would say it's a mix. But when Cash did that to me, the biggest support I got was from the black Americans. They were like, man, we are really sorry. Even people would like say sorry, like it's them who did it to me, man. And I felt like, maybe they would feel, even me, I felt if I was in their own position, I would feel bad, because it's like one of us trying to present us or to mispresent us in a bad way, somewhere else. And maybe somebody, maybe even they had hopes to meet me, and they feel like now this guy maybe may freak out and even say, no, I don't want to see you, or, But it was just an experience, I would say. I would say maybe and even many white guys commented and saying, man, don't trust anybody because like they are black like you. No, like you just have to be, So I got like mixed comments, mixed reactions. Yeah. But to say like my channel is
Let me just do something real quick. Shout out to Wake the Hell Up, my moderator. Great interview, tip on the great combo, sir. Super Triz, shout out to that brother. He's always super chatting. I've gotten a lot of love in Germany, especially from Middle Eastern women. I've only been to Munich, Germany, and I was there once. I did a vlog on that on the channel. Shout out to my Munich, Germany vlog. Mr. Sincere, $10. Again, man, I'm really so thankful for all the brothers who have supported the stream tonight. I had this is my third live stream. I've been live streaming. It's like O'Shea live stream-a-thon for the world. Let me ask, as a brother asks, when you make a video, shout out to Studio Art, when you don't make a video about girls, do you still see there's a lot of views?
Okay, I would say it's really funny, man. Like I would make a video with even girls and think that this video is very like informative, but people, I don't know if people or YouTube maybe does not support that video. But even my viral, there are videos that you feel like this video may be viral because it's very controversial, especially when I make videos with like touching black, anything like Latin girl and black men. Oh, all those videos, they go viral. But the problem with those videos is I get a lot of views, but subscriber-wise, I feel like I'm just like addressing one niche, like the black male. But if I make like normal videos about myself, they get like very, very few views, like 1,000 views. People just want to see girls. People want to see like girls talk. That's the funny thing, man. Yeah, and the sad part of it is when people try to profile the girls that I put on my videos. Maybe they say, no. The girls you made last time with the video, they are much beautiful. This girl is maybe, she doesn't look beautiful. Oh, that is like the sad side of me making videos with girls, because sometimes those girls check those videos and they see those comments, they feel bad, man, about themselves. Yeah. But I'll say one of the biggest one I get is how do you manage to talk to these girls? That is like the biggest like question I get. But I'll say Latin girls, they are very easy to talk to, very easy. And I would say forget about those Latin girls who are like in first class countries or those travelers. Forget about those. Go to their countries where they live, where there are too many Latin girls. In those countries, man, you'll find like a lot and beautiful girls, humble. Forget about those girls who are in the US, in the UK, they are Latina. I see them like corrupt Latinas. Like, you know, go to Colombia, go to a Latin country where like life is normal, like where everybody's trying to hustle for the day, where everybody sees beauty as nothing but as an average day or an average girl. For you, it's a supermodel, but for a normal Colombian or any other Latin male, it's just a normal girl. There you can find any type, man. I'm telling you, sometimes in my life, I've had girls in my life. I see like, oh my, you know, like I feel like, damn. Because I know some guys, if I tell them like, oh, this girl was my girl like last night, people will not even believe. They say, man, you're lying. Yeah. And where I am is just local. Yeah, it's super local. Yeah. Very local. Like the girls are so local. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So guys, shout out to all the brothers in here. I see my man King Nick, Wody Maya still rocking, LL Lewis, good to see you. There's so many brothers in here still. I know y'all, it's like 1 a.m. out in New York and shit like that. Let me ask you this real quick, guys. Are you're now in Mexico? Okay, I know you're like in a tourist place. You're just like in
Yeah.
what was the city you were in before Cancun? You were in
Playa de Carmel.
Okay.
Playa de Carmel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I want to know is this, like, have you had a chance to really talk to some Hispanic women, the Mexican women that are not like, I mean, because I know there's some people like in the hostels and stuff like that. Have you talked to any of the local chicks since you've been there, like on Tinder?
Yeah, I have, man. And to be very honest, last night I slept in a Mexican girl's house. Yeah.
Player.
And that was like from a Tinder date. But I have to say, like, these girls have a lot of stereotypes for black guys, like especially with the banana thing, you know, like the stick. A lot of even right here today in the hostel, the girl at the reception, she's like telling, I bought some bananas today, and when I was telling her, you want some banana? She was like, no, I want the other banana. And they be like, you know, you guys, you're very famous around here. Like, rumor has it that. I swear, man. Like, and even it's funny. I can show you my Tinder, and this girl, not my Tinder, she hit me on Instagram, and this girl just asked me one question: Do you have a big dick? That's what she asked me. Like me, I'm talking to a girl like Ola, and let me see if I can show you, man. Sometimes you may think like I'm making up stories, but let me show you. And man, I'm like, oh my God. Me, I'm like, okay. Here's the camera. I hope you can read this. Oh my God. So you can see charts, like you can see, and that is the last thing. You see? I don't know if you guys can see that. That is on my.
Yeah, I see.
So it's crazy, man, and that's the funny part of being a black guy in this part of the world, man. People really ask you like, so for real you have it? Like, yeah, and man, it's just crazy. Yeah.
So okay, so do girls like? Do you feel? Because a lot of brothers, they love it. They love to hear that. Oh man, I'm really going down. I see these niggas getting ready to. You shouldn't have told them that. I'm buying my ticket right now. Shit. They're gonna be asking, y'all wanna know I got a big dick? Y'all wanna know? But no, let me ask you this. Do you think that most girls want to use you just for sex because they think that you know what I mean? Or do most girls want a relationship with you? Which is the most?
So this is what I would say. Most of the girls here, the problem is the family. It's not them. The problem is their families. If their families like you, that is it, man. Like, yeah, because I've had relationships with girls, but once maybe the girl introduces me to her family, then things start like going the other way. Like you see, like maybe she used to talk to you, and now she's backing off. But I realized that families with like single moms, like you find a girlfriend or a girl, she only lives with her mom. Those girls, like they don't care. When they say it's yes to you, not backing off. Yeah. Like when I was in Colombia, most of the girls who are like my girlfriends, that they came from those families. Like you find like they only have a mom and their mom is like so cool, like okay, no problem. Yeah. And even had this girl, I had this girl in Colombia, and it's really funny. She was telling me like her family knew she's dating me, and when they would sit in a table or eat, then the mom would make a joke like, her name is Sabina. Like Sabina likes black guys, and even right now she's dating. So that's how families make. Like they make a joke to a girl to either discourage her not to date you. That's what they do. Yeah, but girls as girls, they really want to be with you.
Shout out to Dr. Deacon Eric P. For the super chat. Soon to be hitting I got a roll for it. I ain't gonna use his real name, but I got something for his ass though, because he's funny. Shout out to my brother, man. He's one of my favorite moderators, always in here. I am Marwa. Any plans to visit Belize in the future? I wonder how the Belizean chicks are. So let me ask you this: what about Belize?
Yeah, Belize is this country next to Mexico, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Even you can go by a bus from. I was in a town called Bacalar, and you can take like it's 2 hours to Belize. So,
Okay.
I think what I'll do, I'm going to Cuba for 3 weeks. Then from Cuba, I'll be coming back to Mexico. Then I think I'll go to Belize, depending if people ask me like go. But people are telling me go to Guadalajara, so I want to go to Guadalajara and take over. Yeah, I want to go and I want to go and make some videos there for guys and ask girls like if they date this, they do this. People like those questions, and I love like my viewers have been like saying go to Guadalajara, please. So I feel that pressure is like really. And also I have a Mexican girl from Guadalajara. She's very, very beautiful. I met her in Colombia, and she's always telling me, man, come to Guadalajara. She's a doctor there. Yeah.
Oh, she's a doctor
with the family too. So she's always telling me, come. I think from Cuba, I'll go to Mexico City, then I'll go to Guadalajara. But Belize, I'll go to, depending if many people ask me to go there.
Shout out to Pedro, the IT man out of the Canadians. He drops $13.99 Canadian dollars. He asks, great live. Did you have any issues working in a foreign country as a black man? I think talk a little bit about that, but let's go ahead and ask this. Like in Mexico, okay, how is so far, working in Colombia and coming to Mexico? What kind of visa did you get to come to Mexico, by the way?
So I got a tourist visa, and I was so lucky they gave me 6 months, like a half a year, imagine. Like they gave me 6 months. And it's really funny because I asked for 1 month, but when I was at the I was at the embassy, I met a very young, beautiful Mexican girl. And, I smiled with her. I tried to tell her, I'm going to Mexico. I want to visit. And she was so happy, excited about it. And like I was telling her, I'm from Africa. She was super excited. And she gave me 6 months, like 6. And even in my forms, it's one month. I asked for 1 month. But it happened to be 6. So I was like, wow. And, I have to be out of Colombia for the next 6 months. No, I am supposed to go back in in October. But my girlfriend, the one girlfriend that I talk about, she's coming next month to Mexico to meet me so that we can plan. Maybe I'm gonna marry her so that I don't have these problems of like.
Oh, let me ask you this. So, do you want to? I mean, because obviously, people always ask me this question. I am
Yeah.
from the United States. I'm a proud
Yeah.
citizen of the United States. I know we have our problems, obviously. You know, there's been a racial issue in
Yeah.
history, but it's the only country that I know. I don't know anywhere else.
Yeah.
I love Uganda. I would love to be in Africa at some point, at least part of the year, every year. I love Poland. I
Yeah.
love Europe.
Yeah.
But people ask me all the time, "Yo, O'Shea, or do you plan on coming back to the United States? You know, in living back here in the USA soil?" I'm kind of 50-50 on that because I mean I do want to be back out in the struggle with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Yeah.
Howard Cooper. Shout out to the fan Moscow. That's my brother out there. Shout out to him. He's doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? I think he's
Yeah.
an ex-military right now. Let me ask you this: do you think
Yes.
that you're going to go back to? Would you ever go back to Kenya? Do you think you're going to go back there, or is your life going to be now in Colombia? Or is there more opportunity for you in Colombia, or is it more opportunity in Kenya?
So I'll say in Kenya, as I already told you, right now I'm seeing like building my whole life in like YouTube and all this like social media because that's how like right now even I'm living. That's how I'm able to pay my like maybe everywhere I'm doing to book my flights, even maybe sending my mom money back home. It's totally out of YouTube. So I see if I go to Kenya, there may be two outcomes. Maybe I might go and maybe if I do videos, people, especially from the TV side, may take me like maybe like a presenter or something like that. Because I've seen them take other YouTubers, and in Kenya nobody knows me. Just by the way, nobody even knows who Marwa is. Like people don't know about Marwa because people never watch me a lot. Only like maybe a few friends, especially those guys we went to school with. So I feel like if I go to Kenya and I make videos about Kenya, like maybe 4 or 5 videos, people will be like recognize me. But I realized like staying out here because I came to Colombia with like 0 subscribers, and now I'm living just out of like YouTube. So I feel like Colombia is that country that has pulled me from like zero, like ground zero. So I really owe it, and I feel like if I stay in Colombia, not like Colombia can pay me more. No, Colombia just gives me opportunities for my YouTube channel. Like when I make these videos and the videos sometimes go viral or people like topics about Colombia, it helps me a lot. And also it's through Colombia that even I've built my YouTube channel, even my audience. So I plan to go back to Kenya in October too. Yeah, I have a plan to go and see my family, and also I'm planning to see if I can buy my mom a present. It has been long since I left Kenya in 2016. So I'm still seeing like options, but if I'm going to Kenya, my plan is maybe I'm gonna build a nice house, a very decent house, and I'll be staying away. I'll be staying away, and from there, I'll be like Africa and traveling. So if I feel like I wanna travel, I travel. Then if I feel like I wanna stay in Kenya, I just go like for holidays, but not like settling and settling. Yeah.
Let me ask you this because YouTube is quite unpredictable with the algorithm and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I have like the negromanosphere.com and that site. I have my own website. I don't know if you know that. I have my own website, my own blog site.
Yeah.
So I've used YouTube to get into the blogging. I have
Yeah.
Patreon, stuff like that, and we're gonna get into some of the other stuff. I have my own comic now. So we have a few things that we're trying to get into. What other things outside of YouTube that you want to get into? I mean, I know you have the Oxford Science background, but is there anything
Yeah.
else outside of YouTube that you want to get into?
Yeah, I think the fact is I want to like start filming company where like I'll film videos for companies. Let's say it's a cloth line. I'll do like go and do a video for them and they pay me. And also my other thing is I want to I'm trying to see like how I can use YouTube to do other things, especially like to earn money because even some of my huge videos, I can't make money out of them because sometimes YouTube says maybe they have some sexual content or they are not good for all advertisers. I have some huge videos that I don't make money about. But you know, also I've acted. You know, if you guys know like Narcos, the famous Colombian series. I mean, Narcos. I've done some scene there. So I would just try to see more of advertising, like looking for companies and to work with. Yeah, that's what I see. Like maybe filming for companies or working with companies. Like maybe I'll go to a company and tell them, I want to make a video for you guys, and you guys will pay me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, man, it's like I don't know what time it is, guys. It's like 7:30 in the morning. I don't know if there's anything
Yeah.
else you guys you can teach English too, little bro. So shout out to Howard
Yeah.
Cooper. I mean, I'm gonna tell you for me, like, I mean, I'm graduating in medicine, so obviously I may stay in the European Union. There's a very good chance I'm going back home. So I mean, I think like I don't know. I love America. You know, America's great. I think okay, here's the thing. I look at Kenya and I look at Kenya and Africa. It's a lot of opportunity if you have like a really, really, really great skill and you have a lot of money and you have some connections already. Like shout out to Charles Tyler. Like when Charles Tyler moved to Brazil, he was always saying like, you really got to have like the connections. Like if you already have like some skill sets and some connections set up, like then you can go to Africa. You know what I mean? Or then you can go to like, place like Tanzania. But to like just to go there, and you don't have anything, man, you would like just like die. So I think like if you go to places like I mean like in your case, like we're YouTubers, so we do have that stream of income where we could live like decent amount of, we're not like huge YouTubers or anything like that, but yeah, you definitely have to have like a lot of money or some kind of income coming in. And like to me, YouTube is very shady because they can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah.
your channel could be deleted or something like that. But
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, man. That's the biggest worry. Like you may wake up tomorrow. Like me, sometimes I wake up with fears. Like you may wake up and you find like one of your biggest videos has like gotten a strike.
Has it ever happened to
maybe
you before? Have you ever got a strike before on YouTube?
yeah, like you wake up and they tell you we reviewed this video and we found that it's age restricted and you can't do anything. Like, and you try to see the video, maybe you did the video in a club, people dancing, and now it's age. But I always feel like YouTube is not being fair because if you see like music videos, they have like all these women and stuff and everything. But if you do just something like that, close to that, yeah, they hit you up like really hard. Even January, you remember, even not 2017 at the end, so, like advertisers disappeared from YouTube, and I was making like maybe $3, like $3 in a week, like
Yeah, it was bad, dog.
yeah, it was really bad.
It was bad. So yeah, man, like YouTube is like, it can be fickle, but man, I'm just so glad, bro. And do you have like a PayPal or something? Let's say if people want to like support you on PayPal or anything like that, like how do people,
Yeah, I have a PayPal account with my email.
It's the
Yeah,
same email that you gave me?
the same email. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guys, so I'm not gonna keep the brother too long, but I am gonna give him a little parting gift on behalf of the Negro Manosphere for just coming by. He didn't ask me for this, but the brother came by and just gave us some really good information today. I want to shout out some people that came by. Jay Miller podcast. Shout out to him. And I want to just thank you, brothers, for always supporting what we do, over here. You know what I mean? I'm just really, 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 really fucking thankful for everybody for just rocking with us. And I try to bring the best content creators in the world, whether it's Wode Maya, whether it's Ayamara, whether it's anybody. I try to bring the best people in the sector that will come out and hook up with us and stuff like that. So brother, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Is there
appreciate
anything
you.
else that you want to let everybody know? I know you're going to Cuba. When are you going to Cuba?
A day after tomorrow. Yeah, so it's already Saturday, so I have like some hours. Yeah, I'm going on
Oh,
Sunday.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sunday, which is today is already Saturday, so on Sunday. Yeah, but
Okay.
his is midnight. Yeah.
All right. With midnight. So guys, do me a favor. Oh, thanks, Mr. Dyson. Thanks for joining my Patreon. So guys, do me a favor, man. The brother, I want you guys to subscribe to him on his channel right there. And I really, really, really appreciate everybody. Let me do this real quick. Do me a favor, subscribe to I Am Mara right now, right? I just want everybody to press 1. So you guys, when you see him live, you can ask him questions and stuff like that. And you have a big Instagram following too, right? You have like a lot of Instagram followers.
Yeah, but my Instagram is really funny. When I started Instagram, I used to take like photos of models. Like I would really post like really crazy, beautiful girls. That is when I started like in Colombia, like when I was so new. So it got huge following because of the girls. Then when I started YouTube, I was like, no man, fuck this. I just wanna like build my own brand, more of me. So my YouTube, like my Instagram died, like it went just like that. So but I think because of YouTube, it's coming back. Like every day, it's gaining followers, and yeah, I think maybe in maybe 5 months or so, it will come back like strong and strong. Yeah. So
All
I really
right.
appreciate, yeah, I really appreciate you reaching out. I know I'll get subscribers from you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. I don't know how I should say thank you, and yeah, I just hope to meet you in person one day, and maybe we do collab. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely down for it, man. Check your um PayPal, right? So I just want to just
Yeah, I've seen a message right here. Let me show you. I've seen a message and
Okay,
I
okay.
suspected it came from you.
All
Yeah,
right.
let me.
So
Thank you so
yeah, so
much, man. I've seen that message right there.
all
Sorry,
right.
yeah, the camera is down. My
Yeah, you guys see
sorry.
that. So that was just a little parting gift, man, from the brothers who always support us. You know what I mean? We just
Yeah,
want to, like,
thank
I
you so
always want
much.
people to come to the manosphere. I always, in the sector of YouTube that we're in is called the manosphere, the Negro or the Black manosphere. I'm just one of the content creators over here, and we always want to give people a reason to come over and talk to us and to appreciate the brothers' time that are doing big things across the world. So we always want you guys to, thank you for supporting me, and as you guys support me, I support other content creators, and that's how we work it. I was able to drop Jay Miller Speaks Out a donation. I dropped I Am Mara donation. I saw Hassan Campbell on earlier. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. I dropped him a donation. So thank you, brothers, man. Can you put the link up to the Patreon? It's www.patreon.com/Negro Manosphere. Now let me ask you this about Patreon, because you have a Patreon too, right? Um,
Yeah,
when are you gonna start? I mean, like, do you think you'll start putting up like content on Patreon or?
yeah. Most of my videos when I do them, I don't delete them. Let's say I upload a video on YouTube, I still have like a big a storage. I forgot the name. Yeah, I have like a place where I store all my videos. So I'll try to, even I'm trying to see on tweet, because this YouTube, man, you may wake up tomorrow and you find maybe all your videos are like striked or anything. So yeah, so I'm trying to see a way like I can try to go to other small sites, even if I'm earning $5, that would be okay. Yeah. Yes, I really appreciate all guys that stood by us here, man. And yeah, I know I've met new people from you, and man, I say thank you so much. I really appreciate, man. I don't know how I'll answer back to you. I don't know how I'll do like a favor back. Maybe we should do some live stream or yeah. I don't know how
Okay.
to do this podcast. Yeah, it's like
Oh, I'll
it's my
tell you how to
first.
do it. It's very easy. So,
It's my first
very
time.
simple.
Yeah.
Again, man, thanks for coming by. All you guys, thanks for supporting the show. Thanks to everybody, man. That's really, been, supporting everything. And guys, thanks, Christopher Cooper. I saw you was in here. He's in Colombia right now. So thank you guys. Thanks, Casper. Thanks all the moderators. Wake the hell up, Eric P, Young J. Let's see who's all. Howard. Pedro the IT Mon, Quentin Maldonado. Shout out to my brother there. Roastmaster, Black American Expat. Thank you guys for what you do. Peace out.
Bye.